Hello, this is Future 6 talking. I'd just like to say that this video is gonna have some really awkward background music. Have a odd day. Hello, this is a... Actually... Damn, hold on. Okay. I'm saving this one for later, but... In short, I'm going to be doing some new series because I've just gotten into this game recently. And basically, in short, this is a really old game, I guess. It's hard to describe it, but in short, it's a RPG made for Fnafb that is very raunchy. I'm not wrong. Is that the right word? I don't remember. But in short, it's a pretty cringy thing, because it's very 2014 humor around there, so it's pretty bad. But RPG wise, it's actually pretty good. Also, for the future, since the video is probably not going to come out for a little while because I got too much for editing, this is going to be a very awkward thing for me, because there's going to be no sound for me, at least music-wise, because I'm pretty sure most of this is copyright. If not all of it. So I can't play any of it for the video. So I can't play any of it. I'm just going to be... In post-editing, there was definitely going to be music for you all, because I'm not going to be that entertaining for you all to sit in silence or just listen to my voice. But I'm also not new to this game. Granted, this is a different version called CC+, as the name would suggest. And oh god, this is already so fucking horrible. So you're not hearing anything, but this is the different version of the game. A different version on top of a different version, I mean. And for the most part, it's the same.
You fucking shit, but it's not the same. Let me guess. You want me to go find your fucking head? Yes. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, it's very awkward not playing with anything, but this is... I've already played the other version of this, which is just...
I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This
I'm
would
gonna be
forsake
silent
my
for this.
masculinity. I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This would forsake my masculinity. I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This would forsake my masculinity. I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This would forsake my masculinity. I cannot go into the women's bathroom. This would forsake my masculinity.
My masculinity has been forsaken.
Okay, now I can talk. In short, since I've 100% the original version, well, the version this is based off of, which is Complete Collection, I already know how a lot of it goes, so I will be doing a bit of speedrunning, and there will be
Freddy, please.
4 episodes of this, if I'm right, because I don't care much for Prelude, and I cannot do Final.
Here is your fucking head, you insufferable. Yes.
Unless I find some way to stream my phone to OBS. Because I'm gonna be entirely honest, I don't think I'd be able to do that without it being a big time problem for PC.
Oh shit.
Okay. This is as you saw, I'm picking second hardest difficulty just to get the full experience. Because Complete Collection, from what I heard, it adds a bunch of different stuff. But only on Night XX. So this is going to be very interesting. And just in the first one. So, as you've probably guessed by now, it's an RPG game, but it's actually pretty decent. And I guess, stupid for wild as it is to say this, it's actually one of my favorite RPG games.
I'm going to punch the fuck out of this door until it opens. Punch. Okay, this isn't working.
It actually requires a lot of strategy, especially
If there's no key in here, I'm going to...
especially in the later ones, like... actually, all of them require a lot of strategy. It just depends on how good you are at that strategy.
You nasty fuck, get out of the...
Devour my...
And my least favorite is 3, and that's because it's just so weird with how it is, and just some of the BS behind it. So I wonder if they'll change that at all to make it more fun. And we're either about to get our first death or gonna be fine. Oh god, that was really loud. But actually, you can focus one. I can do that, and then yeah. Yep. It's even against basic enemies. I have to do some pretty hefty strategy because they will kick my ass if I am not careful. And this is the... I guess it's more like a mini-boss than an actual boss, but in short, this is the, I believe, only required enemy to get all the characters. And don't worry, the character we're gonna get is not gonna be too broken, so that's why I'm going for him so quickly and early, because I'm really gonna need all the characters in Crowd. I've learned that the hard way in previous playthroughs. Oh, by the way, we're either doing this deathless, or we're just gonna fail. I hate this little prick. You're gonna see why in a second. Hopefully this doesn't trigger anything.
You're the pirate, bastard. Foxy, you dirty piece of shit, come help me. Fuck off, Freddy, fuck boy.
Yeah, that's what B stands for. Oh, FB stands for. And we're gonna burn down that.
Okay, time to burn this place to the ground. Wait, where the fuck is the lighter?
There it is. That's why I hate this.
Hi. Hello.
Yep, screw you too. Why the hell am I saying screw? I already, in my first video, I made it very clear this is not family friendly.
Come with me, you yucky piece of shit.
Anyway. I hate how long those screens take sometimes. Alrighty, now the least favorite. Oh, actually, another thing. That's also anyone that decides to play this through me going on this, which I'd be surprised if there is anyone that does this. This camera is a pretty interesting fight, as I'm about to show you.
Engage the camera, motherfucker.
Looks really hard, right? 3 power level when we can barely take on regular enemies. Watch this. It's a free kill. And ooh, by the way, if you play this, I'm not going to show all the scan entries, but if you want to see all the scan entries, you can do that. I'm just doing this as a showcase to show how they work. They don't take a turn, and and with them not taking a turn, it's really useful because it shows you exact health and even a small description depending on what they are. So like a future camera will have double movements, and the camera, the description will hint to them. As I'll show you when we get to that, because we're probably going to get it in this episode. Bonnie! As you saw, also, as you can clearly see, sometimes the animatronics are known for being a little bit jackass. Yeah, it's a free 8,200.
I fucking did it. Eat my shit.
The way tokens are just the gold in this. Alrighty. Oh yeah, so while you can technically get everything from BB, the shops also exist just to help out with that. And this is also another important thing. Buy armor. It's in some games you may be able to get, in some RPGs you may be able to get away with it somewhat. In this game you will get eaten alive if you're not smart with that stuff. I could probably just play this with my cursor, for fuck's sake. It's gonna be really odd. Okay. And then we'll do the first boss.
Engage the
Yeah,
camera,
I'm not doing that with
motherfucker.
cursor. Cursor will go over here. So this is the first actual boss.
Oh shit.
Show signal and see. Show stage. Oh yeah. Look, view any target's HP and description without using up any turns. That's going to be very important later on. Depending on what I do here, at least. Plank walk is a lifesaver in this game. Because that paralyze, it's a very, very important thing. In case anybody that watches my channel, which there's only like one person that probably see this, if you play Pokemon at all, then you will know that paralyze just makes it harder for moves to go, but in this game, I didn't hit it, but in short, paralyze will make it impossible for something to move. It's free damage turn, is what I'm trying to say. You know, it might seem stupid that I'm wasting all my stuff, but things aren't exactly the best with the damage. And I was confident we would be able to win that one. The lead singer in this, at least in this version, is really good.
I fucking did it. Eat my shit.
He's gonna say that every time we beat a boss, so get used to it.
Oh shit.
Oh, this is a really good thing. This is a really good thing. I hope this is a guaranteed hit. In short, if we hit this damn thing at least once, you'll be able to see why it's very important that we keep this thing. Yes! That's why. It's like, it's basically a bunch of free tokens and XP at any point in the game, but they're hard to come by and they're even harder to hit.
Engage the camera, motherfucker.
It's weird. At one point, I know there was a move that hit them 100% of the time, but I don't remember what it was. Ah, shit. This one. I forgot about this one. Actually, yeah, I might scan all the cameras. It's a bit fun that way. Deals high damage, right. She doesn't have the thing yet. And I don't even have that many still does. Fuck. Okay. Like I'm saving the sodas for Chica. Oh, that took way less than I thought they were going to take. This is why we save all the sodas for Chica. God, this is so agonizing with that sound. Do you have enough? Yes, you do. That's good. We're gonna see a very high damage number very soon.
Yes.
Poison and 1,000. Yeah, that is the very high damage number I was speaking. So, the thing about... That's one of my favorite things about this game is... Oh, but actually, yeah, this is a base game. In short, some attacks get boosted by aliens. Like you saw with Freddy, but releasing their ability, he has a chance to poison, but if the target is already poisoned, not only does he have that chance to poison it again, not only does he get the chance to poison again, he gets the chance to, what's the word? Oh yeah, he deals higher damage.
Oh shit.
There's a better version of this in one of the other games. I am unsure. Oh god, we're fucked. We are so fucked. No wait, we're not. Might stand a chance. Easy way to tell if you got a paralyze off is through the... Yeah, I think we're screwed. Because some major things about Chica is that she doesn't have natural SP drain. She has natural health drain. One of the wait, we can win. We can do this. Hold on. Not slow enough yet. Damn.
Yes.
Yes! You got a poison off. Okay, that gives us a much higher chance because of that. Who's at the lowest? Do it. Yes! We got a paralysis on. Okay. This should become 1,000 times easier. Well, more winnable, I guess. Not easier. You can still take a pass any second. Bam. Oh, God, I'm sorry. That went all the way to the red on OBS. Hey, at least that means you guys can hear me better this time around. I'm not just doing fucking glorified ASMR. Okay. Oh, I have a lot of tokens. I should really be using them.
Inhale.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. Also, another new trick is buying and selling. Obviously, when you upgrade your gear, it kind of just takes up space, even though you have infinite space in this game at least. Oh yeah, I should probably show you all the special things about each character. He's immune to the most common effects. So, as long as we have him on the team, we won't have to worry about getting screwed over by something like High, or I guess just High, because that's this game's confusion, and animatronics, well, confused animatronics deal a lot of damage to other allies, depending on them. Then Fine has a low chance random counter attack skills. I don't know why it's counter attacking. I think they put the skill on that. No, it doesn't make sense either way. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's... I don't know if that showed up at some point, but you can actually just fall and say no to some things. This is probably something you saw already. She got a 32 plus health during that cone fight. Yeah, all the basic enemies are cones, so that's gonna be fun. And then Foxy is the most useful one. Moves first in battle, unless a skill which guarantees moving first is used by another. So, like, you're gonna see a skill later down the line. I'd say probably, actually, in 3 levels, we're gonna see a skill from Freddy that's, I'm not even kidding with you, is literally just, is the Torador March that you'd see from Power Out, but instead of it just meaning instant death, it means you have a chance to sleep. Let it hit so many times, the sleep chance is very random. Each hit has... Oh, I don't know why I'm explaining it now, that's just redundant. I'm going to see it soon. The reason I'm farming is because leveling up gets... Leveling up is something really special. Hold on. Get a level up, Jesus. Also, after this fight, I will be showing something for transparency's sake. Alright, for transparency's sake, for certain fights that I know are just downright unfair and unwinnable, I have this. It's a cheat menu, full transparency. It may be used once or twice in a section, but I will try to limit the use of it as much as I can, and it's going to be really easy to do because I'm actually pretty decent at these games, except for 3, because I don't like 3. There we go. Yeah, leveling up gives full refresh, and Foxy, why the hell? How close? Of course you are. So by the way, if it's anything for pizzas, anything less than XL is useless, but for sodas, I could survive off of just mediums for a while. And Chica's ability, one of her skills is Pizza Pass, which heals, obviously, but yeah. So I won't need to worry about healing items too much, but skill items I will. There's nothing that naturally restores skill, and Chica does have an ability that takes full. takes both SP and TP, or tech points. It's those little green bars that we keep on seeing. I'll show you in this.
Engage the camera, motherfucker. Oh shit.
TP is the green bar, and in short, TP is what allows you to. Yes, that's the word. What's the word I'm thinking of? Damn it. TP is what allows for certain moves, like you saw earlier. Bonnie has a move called Rift Wave, which is what I used to poison the cone and the camera earlier. And it's costs 30 TP. And TP is pretty hard to build, and it doesn't carry between fights. But it leads to some very good things. Like Foxy's main thing is actually built around TP. He can most of his abilities, except for Plank Walk, or not Plank Walk, Rushdown, has something major to do with TP. And like for paralysis, I think I showed it, but for paralysis, the more TP you have, the more likely it is to paralyze someone. Now, let's actually scan this one, and Beckham's camera, 8,000. Truly strong. I don't know why I'm reading this, you guys could probably read it, but I will show you a good strategy for it. And that is this. Yeah, it can't really do much regarding, but and as the thing suggests, it tires out quickly. On normal mode, it just it's word. What I'm thinking of? Dang. On normal mode, it attacks once, then goes down once, and it's 1-1 cycle. But for harder modes like XX or Proud mode for later ones, it's a what's the word called? Yeah, it attacks twice and then it gets exhausted, giving you an entire free turn.
Yes.
So during that free turn, it's very important you push shit in. Okay. When it gets down to a certain percent, feel free to just absolutely wail on it. Or, if you get paralyzed, feel free to wait. Because no joke, it's really easy to fight, but it's very frightening when you first do it. Because that initial bluster it has can be very frightening to new players. But okay, I had a double defense down on him. Weird grinding. Bonnie's main thing is less of an attacker and more of
I fucking did it. Eat my shit.
What's the word? Bonnie's less of an attacker and more of a debuffer. Each character has their own thing. Chica's health and buffs, somewhat. Chica's more just health and general resource management. Foxy's for getting quick hits and chip damage in, or just saying that the enemy can't play anymore. For Bonnie, he's somewhat of an attacker, but he's also a major debuffer. All of his attacks inflict some kind of debuff, except for one of them, and that's a buffing that does no damage. Freddy is our main attacker. He has 0 healing or buff related moves, and every attack he has is just meant to damage his foe. What? Okay. If anyone watches this, feel free to tally all the...
Oh shit.
This is important. Feel free to tally all the misses we get. Because so far, this has been total BS.
Oh shit.
I either need to get a triple fight, right? Nope, I need a...
Oh shit.
Well, I would need a triple fight for him.
Oh shit.
It's like this game knows.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that reminds me. This game is very... This game can take either very short or very long. Takes are very useful. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. I don't know why anyone will try to tell you otherwise, because, if I'm being honest, no one probably knows what the hell this game is. So... I'm gonna look at this one. I can't remember what it does. So this will be a learning experience for all of us.
Engage the camera, motherfucker.
I don't know why I saved, as I said, I'm doing one or done.
Oh shit.
Oh, this one's actually gonna be kind of difficult. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Actually, hold up. Does it tell us? It does not tell us anything. Ooh, actually, that reminds me. There's a fun little pattern we can do here. But these rush kind of hurt them, which is a decision I will never understand. But, Chica. Oh, I forgot she did that now. But yeah. Normally it'd be a good idea to set up a pattern of sorts between Chica and Fox. Chica will always move last. She's the slowest of the bunch, but because she moves last, you can plan ahead very far. Just realize they had it. Why is it moving? What's it doing? Oh, that is a very dangerous thing. I'm so glad they did it on Freddy of all characters, because that would have inflicted confusion. And Freddy's luckily immune to this game's equivalent of confusion. It's doing it again? Oh boy. And this is the biggest problem of the day. Chica. Yep, she's now rogue. Chica. Yeah, that's a... You see why that's a major problem? Because it strips away control of a character for multiple turns. Oh my. Right? Fuck, I did that. Yeah, how to use Rush on that one. I would probably rarely use Rush on. I would not recommend relying on it as I just did there.
Eat my shit.
Only reason why I did here is actually because really dumb reason, I guess. It's because I guess not dumb. It's the literal mechanic of that mechanic. In short, I couldn't use any TP because it was draining him, as you probably figured out. Oh, this is the attack I was talking about. Toward or March? Oh, it does all? Yeah, this is very important. Always moves last. There are some moves that move first that are guaranteed to move first or last, and for some characters, they have moves that will let them move immediately if used twice if it's a double turn. And this is a very important thing. Heavy damage. In short, no matter what, this is gonna deal a lot of damage to the camera. Of which I won't actually scan it, because I know what this one does. Yeah, this one is a problem more often than not for new players, because the regeneration can seem BS at first, but it's surprisingly fair. See how much of a major difference that made regarding Bonnie's damage? Or for example with Freddy. The lead singer, is it Stinger? Hold on. The lead stinger, not leader, singer, whatever. Yeah, lead singer is a very strong attack. Obviously, it's the one that poisons and deals severe damage to poison enemies already. But why am I out of breath? Hold on. It's very high damage wise, and it's a really good example of like why it's important to look at tooltips, because tooltips for attacks will more often not tell you everything. Especially this one seems. See, he barely did 95, I think it was. And oh yeah.
Yes.
Poison. Okay. Oh god. Yeah, I'm gonna try doing this. Yes, attack loss. It's a very important thing. Oh yeah, we got lucky. Okay. It's asleep, so that means we have a bunch of returns now. With them, I'm going to try and get my party up as much as possible. What are you doing? we're guarding because it's free TP when we need it. Though it did heal a bunch. I forgot the camera did that. Okay, there's gonna be a weird pause because I accidentally hit end record. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, there's gonna be a weird pause and a bit of a skip, but don't worry, I did not do anything. I just farmed more, because, like, farmed XP. Jeez, it's gonna be something absurd. And, okay, I'm gonna do another pause real quick, just change some things, my keybinds for OBS. Make sure that doesn't happen again, but in order to show you good faith, I'll pause it. And we are back. Sorry, I just needed to change something. Now I probably won't make that mistake again. Yeah, I literally did nothing but just farm for XP. I'm gonna need it. And I don't even remember what I was talking about before. I'll go back to editing and look at it because obviously I'm gonna have to stitch these two parts together. Oh, you got the counter. That's a good sign. Well, I guess not sign. That's a good showcase of it. Of Bonnie's, counter ability.
Oh shit.
Ooh, upper hand is really good for this. It basically means enemies don't get a turn, which won't matter if everyone misses their goddamn hits. I'm gonna rip all of them apart.
Oh shit.
Starting to understand why BB is so aggressive towards them. Oh, fuck. Fuck, he's dead. Yeah, see why the sizes really matter? Oh my god, that sounds wrong. Items. I'm not making that mistake again. This one, as you probably could tell, I've been avoiding a lot.
Engage the camera, motherfucker.
And you're gonna see why in a minute.
Oh shit.
Not even that. That's why. This thing is perma poison. I don't even like it. I just hate this camera so much. This poison is such an annoying thing. Well, I don't know why it doesn't. It's really so stupid that it doesn't, but rushdown doesn't increase. Or I guess deep. Time for a oh, we got a paralyze.
Yes.
Oh my god. Half its HP is just gone now. I'm so glad they didn't make this thing. Oh! Oh! Oh. Oh man, I got really lucky with that gun pop. I'm gonna be entirely
I
honest.
fucking did it. Eat my shit. What the fuck is this timer?
Shit.
Oh god, the puppet.
I'm not ready for this thing though. We're so fucked. Kevin, I'm a bit panicky.
Oh shit.
Because I hate that it blocks the time, but can't really do anything about it right now. That reminds me. After this, would you guys like to see I guess not totally optimized, but really good run of the OG. I guess OG first. This game has very few chances. I'm saying that now because somehow I was able to hit. I just hit like 5 different. No, not 5. 2. What I found? Poisons on one character. One thing. Just fucking insane. Okay, we might not have a chance in hell at this. Wait a minute. Might have not been taking my damn advice. Hold on. Okay. I'm playing this laid back. A minute now. And I really shouldn't. Well, time to face the music.
Engage the camera, motherfucker.
Wait, I might not be able to. No.
Oh shit.
We ball.
Engage the camera.
We ball.
Oh shit.
This thing is a nuisance because it moves super fast. It's a 50-50 chance, I think, to move faster than Foxy, and like that. Oh my gosh. But we might win this, because I just got super fucking lucky. 15 TP? Well, probably not 15 because it moved. Also be careful with rush down. Fix this with some other characters for some reason. Foxy's rush down remains completely and totally unchanged. But he has a slight... What's the word? I know the word. He has a slight tendency to accidentally kill himself. I'm not kidding. That's like an actual problem with him. From time to time, he'll just... From time to time, through user input, he'll go way too far. Oh my god. Well, time to get a poison now. Hold on. So... It's not gonna be good for that. Soul.
I fucking did it. Need my shit.
What?